Julian here again from the iMoot team. Thank you for coming to our very first of our session streams. And this morning we've got Caryl Gordon with us. Caryl Gordon is actually a instructional designer consultant. Actually, this is the profile, so I apologise if I get this wrong. And adjunct faculty in American Studies at UNC in Charlotte. I'm sure I got half of that wrong. I'm actually looking forward to the presentation here. I'm actually going to be hanging around myself as an attendee. I'm quite looking forward to hear the content here. Rather than embarrassing myself with a very bad-telling introduction, what I would actually like to do is pass over the microphone to our presenter, our speaker. Thank you very much for your time. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Julian. First of all, thank you everyone for attending my session on marking guides. Now, before we get started, just a little bit about me and Julian. You were right on target. My name is Caryl Gordon, and I am an instructional technology consultant at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And you're probably thinking, well, what does that mean? Well, that's just a fancy term that means that I support faculty and students in using Moodle. I'm also adjunct faculty, as Julian had stated, in the American Studies Department. And in the evenings, I teach an intensive writing course that is 100% online. In my day job, we are transitioning the entire campus to Moodle 2.3 in August. That's our fall semester. So we're on Moodle 1.9.19 right now. So since I also teach and we're in the process of transitioning, I volunteered to pilot my spring course using Moodle 2. Since I run a writing course, I grade not only on critical thinking, but on those sticky little things, if you can remember from high school, on grammar and sentence construction and writing clarity, you know, all that stuff that you had nightmares about back in high school. Since I never meet or speak to my students, written feedback is very important. It is the only way, besides a number or letter grade, that my students know how they are doing in my course. So my response or my feedback is very important to me and to them. We all know that feedback is an essential component of the formative assessment process, but my feedback not only lets my students know how they are doing, it lets me know how my students are progressing relative to my course objectives. My main goal is that students see my feedback as a good thing. I don't want them to go, oh, here we go again, some more feedback. I want them to actually look at it and say, okay, absolutely right, and try to incorporate all my suggestions into their next assignment so they can improve their writing. Excuse me. And feedback should have 5 items that I like to include in my feedback. So number 1, I like to let students know what is expected. Well, how? By letting them know before they start the assignment what the learning outcomes are. And the best way I found to accomplish this is by using criterion referenced feedback. The second thing is to be timely. Delay in providing feedback lessens its value. Now, I'm sure that we have all experienced this at one time. How many times have you studied for a test for a couple of days or taken weeks to actually write a paper? And then when you hand it in, you don't get anything back from the instructor for 3 or 4 weeks. So it's sort of disheartening to actually wait all of that time for something that you've worked really hard on. And by that time, to be quite honest, when I got the feedback, it was like, yeah, okay, great. It's late. I've forgotten about it. I've moved on. So the quicker that you get the feedback to the students, the better it actually is. The third item is to be constructive. Provide meaningful information that students understand. There is nothing more demoralizing than getting feedback and thinking to yourself, what does he or she mean? So in a face-to-face class, it's easy to ask the instructor to actually clarify. But in an online course, of course, as the instructor, I know what I'm talking about. But then you really have to rely on your students to contact you to clarify any misunderstandings. The fourth thing I have to, and this is something that I have to remind myself a lot about is to remember to identify student strengths. I sometimes get so wrapped up in identifying the grammar or the stylistic issues that I forget that the student in question did a really awesome job in critical thinking and applying the new material when answering the prompt. And finally, state clearly how the student can improve. Now, given that the assignments have changed from version 1.9, I can now include a feedback or a response file all of the time. So what I do is I have my students upload a Word document. And then when I open their document, I immediately turn on track changes, and I just start typing away, giving them telling them, missing comma, run on sentence, and that sort of thing. And then what I do is I save this file and then I upload it right into the assignment. So everything is all there. So all of these items equal students taking an active role in their learning, every instructor's dream. So we verified that feedback is very important as it helps students to improve, but they also know why they lost points on an assignment. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a thank you note, or on the course evaluation, students have said it's been great to know why I've lost points. Now, giving this level of feedback, as you know, is time consuming. I only have 25 students, but reading all of their forum posts and all their assignments often seems like an endless task. I don't know who's more happier at the end of the semester, me or my students. I also find myself giving the same feedback over and over and over and over. And I believe that many of you face the same issue. I have tried many methods of figuring out how to give this feedback. I've opened up a Word document, I've put it in an HTML file, I've sent myself an email, but all this copying and pasting, and even with the new Paste from Word button in Moodle 2, which I love, it was cumbersome. It just got to be, all this copying and pasting is crazy. So I went searching for a solution, and I stumbled across marking guides. Whoever created this tool, thank you, thank you, thank you. It has just revolutionized the way that I grade. This tool enables me to create a set of comments that I can use over and over and add just by clicking on the comment. Now, if that wasn't enough, you can also set up criteria when grading. Now, just a side note here, there's no need to take any notes. Sit back and relax. And in the course, I've added links to all of the how-to guides on marking guides. So just sit back and relax, and you can have all of this information at your fingertips afterwards. So first of all, what I'd like to do is show you a guide in action. Sort of like a cooking class, we're going to look at the finished product first, that beautiful 7-layer chocolate cake. And then once we see it and drool over it, then we're going to learn how to actually make it. So over here in my course, and I'm hoping that everyone can actually see it, I'm going to scroll down, and I do have an assignment here called Demo Assignment. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to view grade all submissions. And here's all my students, and you can see that student 1, her name is Goldie Gordon. She has actually uploaded file. So what I can do is I can come over here to the edit column and click on grade. And there is her document, which I can open. But more importantly, here is the criteria that I have put in, and my frequently used comments down at the bottom. So for example, I'm reading Goldie's information, and I noticed that she referenced a movie, but she didn't italicize it. So in the stylistics area, I can place my cursor in that big text box over here. And down in the frequently used comments area, I can just click on the comment that I want to add, and bam, it's just put right in there. Another thing that I can do is I can add my own comments. So I could say, awesome work. Once again, I can come in here and I can put in a grade. And then scroll down to the bottom. I always like to leave my feedback comments on so I can let the student know where to find my feedback, especially at the beginning of the semester when we're still getting used to the way that things work. So I can say, click the assignment link to see all my feedback suggestions. And then if I had a feedback file, what I could do is I could add it here so that students could actually see all of my changes in their file. And then I can either click on Save Changes or Save and Show Next to actually grade the next student, but I'm just going to click on Save Changes. And Goldie got a 95 out of 100 on this. So now that we've seen how it works, we've seen our beautiful 7-layer chocolate cake, let's see how we can create it. So I'm going to go back to my main course page. And to create a marking guide, now marking guides work with the assignment tool. So the first thing you have to do is either create a new assignment or edit an existing one. So I have the midterm paper, so I'm going to actually go in and edit that one. And I'm going to scroll down, and in the grade area, in the grading method, I'm going to change simple and direct grading and choose marking guide here. You'll notice above in the feedback settings area, I do like to keep the feedback comments on and the feedback files on, just so I can tell students where to find that feedback from the marking guide and upload any files that I have, any of my response files. And then once again, you can change any of these other options in the assignment. But then when you're done, you can come down here and click on Save and Display. And then the advanced grading page is displayed. Now, don't panic. If you clicked on the wrong button and went back to your course, that's not a problem. All you do is open up the assignment, and you don't even need to be in the settings. You can just click the assignment link. And then down in the settings block, just click on the advanced grading link, which is right here. And that will bring you right to this page. Okay, so now to create a new marking guide, we're going to click on the Define New Grading Form from Scratch, and that's really hard to say. I'm going to click on that. And like anything in Moodle, we have to give it a name. So I'm going to call this Mark Papers. I'm going to call this guide Mark Papers. And in the description area, the description is optional, but I like to give a short description so that I can differentiate between different guides. So I'm going to type used to grade all papers. And now what I can do is I can start entering all of my criteria. So you'll see down below in the marking guide area, there is a click to edit criteria name. So I'm going to click that and a text box opens. So I'm going to put the name of my first criterion, and that's going to be general quality. And now I can give a description for students and a description for the markers or for the graders. I like my students to actually know why they are losing points or things that I thought that they do well. So for the description for the students, I'm going to click on that little, and it's kind of light, you can't really see it, but it says click to edit. So I clicked on that, and then a new text box opens, and I'm going to type, show me that you understand the material. So I want students to know that in whatever paper they're writing, I need to know that they understood all of the concepts. Then in the description for the markers, you could either copy and paste what's here, or you could put something new. So you click on that, click to edit, and I'm going to type shows good understanding of the material. And then once I have that, the third and final step in setting up a criterion is the total number of points that you are going to assign. So I'm going to click, once again, you're going to click on this click to edit link. And for general quality, I'm going to assign 25 out of the maximum 100 points for the assignment. So that's all there is to setting up a criterion. So if you want to add another one, what button do you think you're going to press? Oh, absolutely. You're going to click on Add Criterion. The first one is there. And we just start the process over again. So I'm going to click on this, on the criterion name. And this one's going to be critical thinking. My description for the students is going to be shows good. Oh, sorry. It's going to be, this one is rich in content, full of thought, insight, and analysis. And just for the sake of time here, I'm going to copy and paste the same thing for whoever is going to be marking this, which is me. And then the maximum mark for critical thinking is 25 out of the 100. So for my last criterion, I'm going to just click on that, and the first thing I'm going to do is click on the name, and it's going to be stylistics. Description for students is going to be few grammatical or stylistic errors. And once again, I'm just going to copy and paste that for the markers. And this time the maximum mark, because this is an intensive writing class, it's 50. So now I have all of my points and my criteria are set up. The next thing that I need to do is to add all of the comments that I like to put in. So in the frequently used comments area, there is a click to edit. So I'm going to click on that, and then you can add your first comment. So for me, it's going to be movie titles should be italicized. And then if I want to add another comment, I just click on, you got it, add frequently used comment, and then I click to edit. And this time, the comment that I'm going to add, I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to leave the rest of it blank so I can customize it for each student. So this one is going to be excellent critical thinking. Loved your use of the new concept. And then I'll just leave that blank so I can tell them what the concept is. And then for my last comment that I'm going to add is, so I click on the add frequently used comment and then click to edit, is proof, read your work, missing extra words, and run on sentences. Okay, so that's all of the comments I'm going to put for right now. Of course, you can add more, and you saw in my demo assignment I had about 15 of them there. In the marking guide options area, I always make sure, and these are on by default, but I always make sure that these are checked. Show guide definition to students, so students can see what they're being graded against and my comments and why they lost the points. And show marks per criterion to students so students know about their points. So now if I'm not done working on it, I can save it as a draft. But if I am done working, I could say save marking guide and make it ready. And now that marking guide is now ready to be used with this assignment. Now, let's look at the guide when we are grading. So here I am in my assignment, and I did want to say back, and I wish I was still back on the marking guide page, but that option that students see what the criteria are. At the beginning, I thought that students would see it when they came into the assignment, but that was not the case. So what I do is this portion over here I add to every assignment, and it's just a table. I just input a table, and I have I put the criteria, the notes, and the number of points. The students know how I'm grading. But to grade the assignment, let's go to View Grade All Submissions. And once again, my favorite student, Student 1, who is Goldie Gordon, she has uploaded the assignment. So I'm going to click in the Edit column and choose Grade. I can open her assignment here. But then once again, here is all the criterion. Here's the marking guide, the criterion, and the frequently used comments. So once again, under here, she didn't proofread her work, so I can type that there. But up in critical thinking, she really showed me that she read the material and tried to apply it. So I can click on this here, and now I can just start typing. So loved your use of the new concept of the other and things, and this is not what it seems. And then once again, I can give the students a grade. I can scroll down, and then in the feedback comments, I can say, click the assignment, click the assignment link to view all my feedback, and writing suggestions in file. Once again, if I had a file to add, I could add it here, but I'm not going to just for the sake of time. And then I can either click on Save Changes or Save and Show Next if I wanted to grade the next student. But I'm going to click on Save Changes. And sure enough, Goldie now has her grade. So let's look at what students are going to actually look at. So I'm going to just give me a moment here while I change to the student role. And let's come down here to the midterm paper. Well, actually, you know what? Let me go back. I didn't mean to do that. As a student, I might just go in and view grades. And I could see that it says here, oh, I got a 95 and a 90, but it says click the assignment link to view all feedback and writing suggestions. So from here, I can just click on the assignment link, which brings me to the assignment, and then I need to scroll down. And now in the feedback area, here are all the criteria and the feedback that I had typed in and the grades. And then if I had uploaded a file, it would have been a link here. So that's exactly what students are going to see. So now I bet you're thinking, well, now that we have this assignment, this marking guide set up, how can I use it with other assignments? I'm so glad that you asked. So let's go back to the being the instructor. And I'm going to go back to my main page. And I just so happen to have another assignment that's set up called the final paper. So I'm going to click on the settings for that. And then once again, just scroll down to the grade area. And in the grading method drop-down list, I'm going to choose marking guide, just like we did when we were creating one. And I'm going to click on save and display. And this time, I'm going to choose create a new grading form from a template. Once again, that's hard to say. And now I need to search for the form, but I created the form. So in order to search my forms, I need to select that checkbox to include my own forms and then search for it. Now, of course, I remember what I called it because I just created it a few minutes ago. But let's make believe that a few months have passed, and I can't really remember what it was named. So I can put in, I think it had something to do with paper. And we can click on search. And one comes up, and it's called Mark Papers. Yeah, that looks like it, and I can see what it is. I can see what all the criterion on and what my frequently used comments are. So what I can do is click on use this form as a template. And now it's asking me, do you want to use this Mark Papers guide as a template for the new grading form for final submissions? Once again, it gives me a chance to actually look this over. So I can click on continue. And it's ready for use. Now, if I wanted to add some more comments in the frequently used comments area, I could click on edit the form, edit the current form definition, and I can come down here and I can add another criterion if I wanted to, or I could add another frequently used comment. Once again, I can save it as a draft, or I can save. What I'm going to do is just save. Oh, it can't be empty. Okay, so I can just delete this one. Yes, and you can't have anything empty here. And then I can click on save. And now when I go into my final paper, actually no one has uploaded anything yet, but let's go to my favorite student, Goldie. And you can see now that that marking guide has also been attached to this assignment. Okay. Once again, I just can't tell you how pleased I am with this. I can now concentrate on giving feedback in the Word file where I believe it really helps the student see what I am referring to and what needs to be corrected and updated. I spend little time on typing comments on the assignment page. So once again, whoever created this, I love you. You have definitely transformed my life. Actually, grading has become more of what I would like to do. I want to help students write better rather than just typing all of these comments in. So I would like to open it up for any questions now. Okay, let me look over here at the chat. And I see a question from the EDC team. It says, is the template when searching my own forms looking within the course or user profile? That's a good question. I don't know, but I will try to find out and get that back to you. Searching. I don't know if there's anybody here from the Moodle team who can answer that. Once again, I was the only one who was using Moodle 2 in the spring, so Okay, we have Richard saying if it's like rubrics, it's across the site. However, I think that that is a setting that the administrator has to make has to make so that the rubrics are available to everyone. In Moodle 1.9, we actually had that at the beginning where once you created a rubric, it was available to everyone, and some of them were set up wrong. So people started to use them, and their grading got their grading was wrong because the rubrics and the scales were set up wrong. Are there any other questions? Yes, the marking guide is an integer or a number grading, and you can actually in these things put in like a 24.5, but the grade book will actually round it. And Dan, you're right. The rubrics do not have a frequently used comments area either. And the other thing that I found with a rubric is that you had to create a entry for each grade. So you would have to create an entry for the grade of 100, for a grade of 99, of 98, of 97, of 96, of 90. So I just found that a little cumbersome to actually work with, which is why I looked for something else. And then when I found the frequently used comments, I was like, heaven. Okay, is there anything else? Once again, I would like to tell you that I have created some how-to step-by-step guides that is on our website at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. I have put the links over in the course, so feel free to go ahead and use those, and feel free to take a look at our other information on our website too. You have to be careful. Some of the stuff up there is still from Moodle 1.9. Oh, Dan, thanks. The links are on the course page. It's below all of the forums. I actually typed how to create a guide, how to grade using the guide, and what students see. I hope that answered. Oh, thanks, Sally. Yeah, I'm telling you, you will just love this. You will just love this. I seem to have talked fast, so we're done a little bit early. Thanks, Richard. Yes, I think that the admins can. So maybe that's something that if you really want to. So we can. Oh, Tim, I think you're onto something. Oh, any issues that I found with the marking issues that I'd like to see improved? I really haven't seen any issues. Like I said, I was just so ecstatic of finding this, and my husband was happy too because I wasn't grading for hours and hours and hours. So because I felt like I needed to let students know all of this feedback, missing comma, blah blah blah. You know how it goes. The only thing I would like is maybe I don't understand why it rounds up in the grade book. That's about the only thing I'd really like to see. Yes, now I have enough free time to bake that 7-layer cake. Absolutely. Oh, there's a Moodle tracker issue for the decimals in the grade. Yeah, yeah. But I have to say, on the whole, during our summer 1 and summer 2, it was optional for our faculty to actually, they could either use Moodle 1.9 or Moodle 2. And I am surprised at how many are opting to use Moodle 2. I am also very pleased because in the fall, that will be one less person that we need, that will be asking for help or some sort of a support. So. Okay, well, that's all that I have, and thank you once again for attending and listening to me drone on about marking guides. But I really I just can't say enough about it. I just love it. And thank you.
All right, Julian here popping in before people start disappearing. Look, I also want to say a big thank you. The response from the audience, I think, says enough. So many people aren't aware of the changes that were introduced, especially in assignment.
Yeah, oh, it's been phenomenal. I just can't say enough about that. And for quizzing, thank you very much to the Moodle team. The EDC team wants to know, do students see the comments straight away or can you hold them back? Students do see the comments immediately. If you do hide the assignments, of course, they're not going to, then the students can't upload it. Because I teach on a part-time basis, I grade as stuff comes in. So I don't wait until the end and then grade all 25 at first, at once. But I will look into that too. Thank you, Teresa. Hide the assignment in the gradebook. Oh, excellent. Yes, yes, Richard. What you can do is in the gradebook on the categories and items page, you can actually click on the open eye to unclose it. So students won't see any of the feedback, but they will be able to upload to the assignment. Okay, thanks everyone, and have a safe night, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thanks, Lori. Thanks, Sally. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks to the EDC team and to Richard and Teresa. And Meryl, I think that's how you say it. Okay, Julian, thank you for all of your help and beginning of the session. Yes, we do need more feedback because that's how especially in an online course, totally online, that's how students learn. Yeah, I am too, because in this way, and that was another thing I meant to say during the presentation, is I ensure that I grade everyone equally. I'm using the same thing for every student, and it's right there in my face as I'm grading. Excellent. I will add that on my presentation tomorrow.